Hey y'all, welcome back to another special edition of Hopped Up Beer Review, where we have been trying the 2025 Costco Biergarten collection. Today, we have the St. Marienthaler Klosterbräu Dunkel Bock out of Privatbrauerei Eibau, Germany. Thank you for joining us.
Raise your glass, Dunkel Bock. Time flows slow, tick tock, the night is young, the fire's hot, St. Marienthaler, Dunkel Bock.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional, somewhat biased opinion and unsolicited opinion about the beer that we're drinking and reviewing. We're back. We're reviewing another beer out of the 2025 Biergarten collection that you can pick up at Costco if they have any left. Hopefully you've already got one and you are joining along. We are going in no particular order, and we are not reviewing ones that we did last year if they're in the box, and we got a few of those. So with that, there's Andy in the attic hanging on to that mustache. There's Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, Andy?
St. Marienthaler Klosterbräu Dunkel Bock.
Right.
St. M.
We had this brewery before.
We've had the Privatbrauerei, but this is a different label under that.
Because there are several in the box that have this, like...
Yeah,
yes.
St. M.
Yeah. All right. Anybody had this one yet?
No.
Probably Andy. He's got multiple boxes. So does Ben.
I have not had it yet.
I
Ben,
have
have you had
multiple
it
boxes too. Yeah. No, I didn't want to drink though. Knowing me, I would drink the wrong one or something. I wanted to have a backup just in case. So I haven't drank it yet.
Of course you haven't.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers,
mates. Das Boot.
I was at a German restaurant recently, and I should have got a boot while I was there.
Why didn't you get a boot?
Should have.
Golly, I'm surprised. I think boot would be highly coveted on your list of glassware.
I know. I hadn't gotten one yet. I have to find one.
Not yourself. So the St. M. Dunkel Bock, 6.7%. They describe it as having a rich malt character and moderate sweetness. True and true. A little more than moderate. This is the product of Privatbrauerei Eibau, and the label is brewed on behalf of the St. Marienthaler Klosterbräu, which is a traditional monastery beer associated with the Cistercian convent Kloster St. Marienthal in Ostritz, which is in the Saxony region near the Polish border. Sir!
I don't mean to interrupt, but you said it's brewed by this other. Is that like a gypsy brewery like we've talked about here in the U.S.?
I'm going to get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. Wow. And you did mean to interrupt because you raised your hand specifically to interrupt.
And now we know that you are the reason Santa has a naughty list. And
yeah.
You're showing it off right here.
The beer had been brewed there in the Klosterbräu at St. Marienthal in Ostritz since 1357. But in 1998, they transferred the brewing to Eibau. and it was
Why?
it's still being brewed according to its old monastic recipe because they just no longer could support their own brewing. So the brewing was done on
After
behalf of
500 years, let's just decide to move and
600 years. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
it happens. Yeah, a lot of Cistercians we've heard about in Germany.
I
Big with
mean,
the Cistercians.
eventually somebody whoever picks up this show and continues it and continues it and continues it, eventually they're going to give up, right? I mean, at some point they're going to transfer it to some other guys that don't do this show.
What is that? Change is inevitable, Ben.
Maybe.
Cheers.
So the brewery, the main brewery, Privatbrauerei Eibau, Eibau, Germany, it's a microbrewery founded in 1810. We've done it extensively the past couple of years. Started after a decree by the King of Saxony upon petition by the citizens to have a brewer. They make one of the oldest black beers in Germany, and name changed to Privatbrauerei Eibau in 2010 after a change in ownership. I'll drink some more.
All right.
That's interesting history. Thank you, Andy. Wow.
You okay over there?
Is that the
Better be
boo?
careful. Go from other angles.
So I'll ask this now, and we can revisit it. But I assume all of the St. Marienthaler, is that how I say it?
Marienthaler.
Marienthaler. All of the beer that we have from them will be brewed by Eibauer. Eibau.
Privatbrauerei.
Yep. Okay.
And we had a few from the box last year from that brewery, then a few this year.
We keep building upon that. We have a couple more, I think, that we didn't do last year. That are still to come on that. On top of, I think, like you guys said, maybe 3 more of these from St. Marienthaler.
Yeah. All right, I'll jump in and go first. So first off, I like this beer. I think it's so far, this may be my favorite that I've had so far out of this year's collection. To me, it definitely is the malty. I mean, they describe it well. It's heavy malt and just a touch of sweetness for me. It's to me, it doesn't drink 6.7 necessarily. I find it easy to drink. I find it has a lot of good flavor. I like it a lot compared to others that we've had so far. As far as score, I'm going to give it an. I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8.
Do it.
Yeah.
I like it. 7.5, 8. I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's. I think it's, again, out of the box we've had so far. I think this is, for me, the best one so far. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Ben. It's good. Although to me, I think it drinks a little heavy. I mean, it's a Dunkel Bock. I wouldn't say necessarily from the ABV standpoint, but from the flavor and the richness of it. It does have that maltiness. There is that semi-sweet to it. You know, they nailed that on the head. I love the history behind it. I'm not huge on the can art, but you know, this is what they do. I mean, that's former monastery, the way that they've done these type things, and transferred this to be like a gypsy brewery. So it's cool from that standpoint.
When you brew beer for 600 years, this is the can art you can come up with. Okay, I mean that's 600 years,
and you know, you're not going to have a bunch of monks that are highly creative, I would guess. I don't know. I mean, they have a lot of time on their hands, so maybe they are. But, you know, a lot of artists. You know, a Dunkel can only go so high for me in a rating. But I think this is a really good one, like you said, Ben. Probably one of the better beers we've had out of the box for sure this year. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
All right, Andy.
Yeah, it is one of the better. Flavor-wise, it's good. A little more malty sweet than malty bread.
Bread. Yeah,
Yes.
you like the bready type.
And so it's more sweet than I was wanting. Some box just aren't that malty sweet, but it's still decent beer. I'd have it again. I give it a 7.0.
It's a good thing you'll have it again because you've got it in another box.
Another box.
Yeah,
it's good. Good thing. Great thing. More German beer for me.
That is going to be a 7.5 for the St. M Dunkel Bock. Definitely one if you're following along in the Biergarten collection for 2025. Let us know what you think about it. You can do so down below in the comments, or you can check out down below. There's a link for Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It's a chat room, and I know the creepy guy with the mustache might scare you away from a chat room, but in this case, it's Andy. It's okay. Jay and I'll vouch for him. So you can you can join us in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server and chat with the three of us and the others who have joined us. We talk about beer and tacos and other stuff. Got other links down below for Hopped Up Beer Review merch. And some other things like Hopped Up Beer Review Patreon. So check all that out down below. We would love for you to do so. Be sure to like, subscribe, cheers that notification bell, and come back and check us out on our next Biergarten collection beer if you were following along. For Andy and the Attic and Jay, I'm Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Raise your glass, Dunkel Bock.